Hello guys, my name is Owusu Yeboah of Finance Skills Hub. Have you ever wondered how possible it is to always feed your dashboard with real-time data? Well, there are several options. One option is to create a mobile application to do this. In this short video, I'm going to take you through the process of creating your own mobile application that feeds your dashboard with real-time data. This way, you can share it with several users who will keep recording transactions in them, and as they record these transactions, they feed your dashboard with the data. So if you are ready, join me as we go through this.
Okay, so for this demonstration, I'll be using this sales dashboard. If you're a member of the finance committee, you should have come across this sales dashboard in one point of your learning of data analytics with Finex. This sales dashboard analyzes sales of an organization across four main key indicators. That's revenue, costs, profits, and profit margin. Over here, it graphically distributes or demonstrates how profit is made by each region across the country. We have a table chart over here that shows the various product categories, how much profit and cost they are making, and then a tracker over here as an indicator. We have the trend analysis of the four indicators, and then over here at the bottom we have our slices. So we have the delivery dates as a timeline, and then we have our various slices at the bottom here. So what this means is if I select electronics, I expect my information pertaining to electronics to be the only thing that is charted on this dashboard. So you realize revenue has changed, cost, profit margin, so on and so forth. All this pertains to only products in the electronics category. Now, for many people who are into data analytics and creating dashboard with Excel, the key problem or the key challenge they face is how to feed their dashboard with new data. Like I was saying initially, with this new way of creating apps with spreadsheets, it's possible for you to create apps that feed your dashboard with data. So I'm going to demonstrate how I have linked this dashboard to a mobile application I created using a spreadsheet. So to demonstrate, I'm going to key in information in the app, and then we're going to see how this is going to affect my dashboard. Before I do that, I'm going to clear the settings I have over here so I can set this to the full view. Okay, so take note of this figure, 6,562,570. And let's now go to our app mode. Okay, so now we are in the mobile view. Now I'm going to try and enter data in my app, and then we'll see how it's going to affect my dashboard. So the app is AppSheet. I'm going to click on it. AppSheet over there. Okay, and this is my app. Very simple app that I use in tracking or to record my transactions. So I have all my list of transactions over here: row ID, order date, delivery mode, customer ID, city, product ID, unit cost, quantity, selling price, and discount. Now if I want to record a new transaction, all I need to do is hit this plus button here, and this opens a new form for me. So I have first the row ID, which is pre-filled, as well as the order ID, the delivery dates, delivery mode. Then we have delivery mode. So I need to select what the delivery mode is. So let's say for this particular transaction, it's going to be a pickup. Was a customer. So let's say Salam Adam, city, Cape Coast. Which products is Salam interested in? Let's say Salam is a retailer of iPhone, so iPhone 8. What's the unit cost of an iPhone 8? Let's say 2,000. How many is he trying to buy? Let's say he's buying 150 units. And how much are we selling it to him for? 2,100. And are we giving him a discount? Let's say we're giving him a 2% discount. Okay, so once I'm done filling my transactions, all I need to do is hit save. Okay, so I hit save over here, and then this is going to sync into my app. So now we're going to move to our app and see our dashboard and see how this is going to reflect in our dashboard. Okay, so we are back in our dashboard. So now let's try and refresh our app and see if the data recorded in our mobile application has now synced into our dashboard. So we come to data. We'll now go to refresh all, and we'll click refresh all. And then let's see if this figure 6562570 changes to reflect the new entries we've made in our dashboard. Okay, so now you can see that our new entry has caused an increase in our revenue, same for cost as well as profit. So what this means is that once we're able to create an app and link it to our dashboard, we can share this dashboard application with several sales agents, and they can make entries into their app, and then it will flow directly into our dashboard. So in this short video, I'm going to teach you how you can use Google's App Sheet to create mobile applications, which you can connect to your Excel dashboards, so that your dashboards can now receive live data as people are making entries into your mobile applications. So let's get started. Okay, so we're going to begin the process of creating our mobile application. Now, the platform we're going to use to create this mobile application is called AppSheet. Now, AppSheet is a no-code app development platform, okay, that relies heavily on data to create mobile applications. Now, you can have the data stored in Google Sheets, in Excel Online, or even a SQL Server. Frankly, from my personal experience, I've realized that it's much more easy to create apps with Google Sheets than Excel Online, because App Sheets in itself is a Google product, and they work much better with Google products as well. So in this demonstration, I'm going to be using Google Sheets as the store of my data, and I'm going to query that data into my Excel dashboard. You can also create an app using Excel Online or an Excel document in your OneDrive account. Okay, so to begin, I need to create my Google Sheets online, and then you just start with a blank sheet. Okay, once I have my Google Sheets open, my new sheet open, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rename the sheet. I'm going to give it a simple name as ABC Sales App. Okay, so this is going to be the data for my app, which is also going to be called ABC Sales App. Okay, so what I'm basically going to do is going to bring the data in my Excel document into this spreadsheet. Okay, that also helps me to create the app. So I'm going to copy this data. When creating apps in AppSheet, it's important to make sure that your headers for the various fields are sitting within the first row of your spreadsheet. That is how AppSheet is able to determine that those are the names of the fields for your database. Okay, so all your headers have to be sitting in the first row of your spreadsheet. So I'm going to paste my data, Ctrl-Shift-V. Okay, so now my data is in. Now I need to go and copy the other data and come and paste them in the other spreadsheet. But first, I'm going to rename the sheet. So I'm going to call this transactions. Okay. Create a subsequent sheet. Sheet 2. Come to my Excel documents. copy the data for customer, which is pasting values Google Sheets. Okay, name this customer. Okay, now I'm going to copy the data for the next table, which is location. Name this location. My last sheet is going to be product. Okay, so now I have my tables. I have transactions, customer, location, and product. So in creating your apps, like I said, it's important that you lay out each table in a new sheet. Okay, and the headers of the table must sit on the first row of that spreadsheet. Okay, so once this is done, all I need to do is come to extensions, click on extensions, I come to app sheets, and then I'm going to create an app. Okay, now because I have an account, this is going to lead me straight to creating the app. And for those who don't have an account, it's going to request that you create an account with AppSheet. In subsequent sessions, I'm going to take you through the process of creating an account, and I'm going to take you step by step, understanding the environment of AppSheet and how you can use that to create apps that make your dashboard or your data analysis better. So I'm going to click create an app. Okay, so we are finally in the AppSheet editor. So this is the AppSheet editor, and then I'm going to take you through the process of creating an app with the data. Subsequent sessions, I'm going to take you to step by step what each tab represents and what they do. But when you first upload your data into AppSheet, the first thing you need to do is to go to data. Okay, so these are the main tabs, and under each tab we have sub tabs. Okay, so in data, these are the sub tabs. We have table, we have columns, slices, user sets, and options. For this session, we're going to use only tables and columns. Subsequent sessions, we're going to do more on AppSheets. So this is the preview app. As you are creating and making changes, you see the preview over here. It's more or less like Power Query, which shows you a preview of what your data looks like as you make your changes. Okay, so currently this is what our data looks like, but we're going to make some changes to it so that it looks much more presentable and much more comparable to what we want. Okay, so when you come to data and you come to tables, you realize that over here you have one of your sheets, which is transaction. It has been loaded as a table. Okay, you also have your other tables or other sheets over here. Okay, so what AppSheet does is AppSheet loads the very first sheet in your Google spreadsheet as a table, transactions, and then you are allowed to add subsequent ones as well. Okay, so I'm going to add these tables. I'm going to click on them one by one to add them. So it's going to load as I click each table. The location. And then product. Okay, so these are my tables in the spreadsheet. So we have customer, location, product, and transactions. Now, in all my sessions, whenever I'm teaching my students about AppSheet, I always tell them that the first thing you need to do is to set the data types of your tables. Okay, so the data types is just like in Power Query, we set data types of each column. In AppSheet as well, you need to determine the data type of each column. Okay, so you go to columns, and under columns, you're going to set the data type of each column. Now, what you need to do in setting a data type is to start from your dimension tables before you go to your fact table. So we are all familiar with the concept of dimension tables and fact tables. Okay, so dimension tables are like lookup tables that gives us more information pertaining to a particular column in our fact table. So our fact table in this case is transactions, and our dimension tables are customer, location, and products. So what we're going to do is we're going to set the data types of those columns, those tables first, before we come to the fact table, which is transaction. So we're going to start with customer. So this is my customer table. Okay. Now in every table in AppSheet, you'll find the first row being the row number. The row number is an added column by AppSheet to your data table or your spreadsheet to help it keep track or keep record of each transaction that's entered in that particular table. So it's like something like a row number for each record in that table. So that's always having a data type number, so you don't really have to bother about that. The next one is your customer ID. So customer ID is the IDB we have given to the customers in our spreadsheets. So that has a text data type, which is fine. Customer name is the name data type. Customer segment is a text data type. So when you click on each type over here, it gives you the list of types you can set for a particular field. So in this case, we're okay with text, so we'll leave it as such. Okay. Over here too, we also have the keys and label. Okay, so keys and label are like your normal IDs and names. Okay, so in every database, we kind of are able to track records based on their keys, their primary keys, or the unique identifier of that record. In this case, for customers, the unique identifier is the customer ID. We expect that every customer ID is unique in the customer table. You can have 2 or 3 people having the same name, but then their customer ID should be unique. That is what identifies or distinguishes every record from each other. Okay, so that's our key. However, as individuals, we don't go around identify each other by our customer ID or our IDs. We are more conversant with the names. So our label is going to be the name. So the name is what we're going to see in the app. However, in the spreadsheet, it's going to be stored as the key. Is that okay? Good. So once we are okay with the data type of customers, we move to the next dimension table, which is location. We have this name. So city is text. So we can actually set city to a location data type, which is address. Okay. Country is text, region is text. Those are fine. Then come to product. So product ID is text, category text, subcategory text, and then product name is name, which is fine as well. So once we are done setting up the data types of all our dimension tables, we can now set the data type of our transaction table. Last is because the fact table has certain columns that relate to the dimension table. And you have to make sure that the data types in those tables have been set properly before you start with the fact table. Okay, so our transactions table. Now this is our transactions table. This is where the individual is recording the various transactions that are coming in. Okay, so we need to make sure the data type is set right. So the first one is row ID. Okay, so let's take a preview look at how the data is going to be filled in. So when I click here, add. This is what the form is going to look like. Row ID, order dates, delivery mode, customer ID, city, product, unique cost, quantity, and selling price. And we have the discount as well. So you realize that we expect certain columns to be pre-filled. We don't expect the sales agent or whoever is going to use this app to indicate what a row ID is or what the order ID is. The app should be able to indicate this for us. So we need to input formulas over here so that they fill, or the app uses that formula to fill that for us. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and use formulas to fill this up. So going back to our spreadsheet, what to do is we want to understand how the various entries in the row ID are done. So realize that for the row ID, it's the subsequent or the previous ID plus 1. So, okay, so if this is 1, the next one is 2, 3, 4, so it increases plus 1. So all we need to do is to find the one that precedes it plus 1, okay? Or in any case, the maximum number in the array before this particular entry plus 1. Okay, so that should work for this. For this particular one, which is the order ID, we need to understand the sequence and we need to know how to make the next entry. So we have the order ID slash the year 2018, and then another dash, then 000, then the row ID, which is 1, and then the final one again. So the same thing, order ID year 002, and then another 1, just like that. So we're going to use the same syntax to write a formula app sheet to create these order IDs and row IDs for us for every entry. So I'm going to come back to my app. Okay, so what I'm going to do is that even though for this particular row ID, the data type is number, I'm going to create a formula within this column so that it's going to provide the next entry for me without a user having to type it out himself. Is that okay? So I come here, click on this editor icon. Okay, now you scroll all the way to auto compute. Now in auto compute, you have 2 points you can key in your formulas. You can key in the formula at the app formula section or the initial value section. However, it's dependent on what you're trying to achieve and the particular column you're using in question. So the first thing you need to ask yourself is this particular column the key of my table? Okay, now row ID is the key, so you can see a key icon over here. If that is the key, you cannot place your formula at the app formula section. Okay, because the key should not be dynamic, it should not keep changing, it should be static. When the formula is placed at the app formula section, it keeps changing. So we're going to place the formula here at the initial value section. Formula is stamped once, it doesn't recalculate whenever there's a change in the app. So once I click on that, I'm taken to the expression assistant section where I can enter my expressions. So I'm going to use the max function. So max. Okay. Now I want to find the maximum record or the maximum entry in the row ID in the transaction table. So I'm going to call on my table transaction and row ID. Okay, so this is going to give me the largest amount in the transaction table row ID. I'm going to add 1 to that. So I'm going to increase that by 1. And that's going to be the new entry for the next row ID. Okay, so once that is validated over here, I can save this and hit done. Is that okay? So if I cancel this form and I start a new one, let me save first. So I'm going to create a new form, and you see over here now my row ID has been provided for me before I make my entry, so I don't need to worry myself about the row ID. Okay, that's what we want to achieve. So let's do same for the order ID. And we said the order ID has a particular structure, so we come to auto compute. Now you realize that this time the order ID is not my key. Okay, it's not a key, so I can choose to place the formula here or here. So I'm going to place the formula at app formula section, so you see what it looks like to place the formula at app formula section. So app formula. So we said the order ID follows this particular pattern. So we have order ID dash. Then we're going to provide a year. So year of our order. So order date, right? We're going to combine this with another dash and 000. Okay. I seem to have forgotten my ampersand. So ampersand here and ampersand there. And then another ampersand. Combining this with my row ID. So we bring your square bracket just like Excel row ID. Ampersand this with 1. Is that okay? So this is going to read order ID, the year, then dash 000, row ID, then combined with 1. Save this, hit done, and save. So new form provides a row ID, but then provides the order ID as well. Okay, now realize that because the order ID was, we inputted the formula in the app formula section, this is not editable. You can't edit this, but then you can edit this particular one because we placed it in the initial value section. Is okay? So now we have this done. We have row ID, we have order ID. AppSheet has been able to provide us with the order date and the delivery date. Now by setting your particular field to the date data type, AppSheet is going to make it a date column. It's also going to input a formula in the initial value section, which is today. Okay, so it's always going to provide you the formula for today as the initial value, and you can set it to whatever date you want to. Now we need to select, or we need to provide the delivery mode, and then we can continue from there. So let's go to our database again and determine what the various delivery modes are. Okay, so in our database, we're going to check what the various entries in the delivery mode sections are. So you realize that in the delivery mode section, they've indicated how long it's going to take for the delivery to be made. So we have 5 to 7 day, 2 to 3 day, pickup, express 1 day. So I just want to check the unique entries in this particular column. So we have 2 to 3 day, 7 to 5 day, express 1 day, and pickup. So these are going to be my options for this particular column. So you realize that for this particular column, we don't expect the user to type in what they want, but then the user should be able to pick from a drop-down list, something like this. So we'll go back to the app and we'll create something similar. So for delivery mode, the data type we need for a drop-down is called an enum. So enum over here is the data type that allows you to provide a drop-down list for your users. The difference between an enum and an enum list is, for enum, you can select only one particular option at a time. Okay, so it just allows you to select only one option, but enum list allows you to select multiple at a time. So we're going to select one, which is enum. Click on the editor, come to values. So under values, you're going to add the various options you can select from. So you click on add, you click on 2 to 3 day, And then we have 5 to 7 day. We have pickup, and we have express 1 day. Okay, I just wanted to be as close to that as possible. 2 to 3 day, 5 to 7 day, pickup and express 1 day. Okay, so once we've selected or once we've provided the options, what we need to do is to select how we want these to appear. So what I want is a drop down. So I want to select from the options, input mode, drop down, hit done. So what I'm going to have here is a drop down. When I click on this, the user has this drop down. I can also select buttons or stack. These are different ways to have your input show. Okay. Now the next one is our customer ID. Now remember, customer ID, we've seen it before, it's coming from the customer table. Is that okay? So this is a foreign key coming from the customer table. So fields which are foreign key in your fact table have a special data type called ref. So ref, ref. Okay, so once you select ref, Apps is going to require that you provide the table that you are referencing or referring to. So I'm referring to customers. And that's it. I'm done for this one. So what it means is when I come to customer and I click this, it's going to provide me the list of customers over there. So over here, you can see that I'm seeing the names of the customers, right? But these are just the labels. Okay, what you see over here are the labels. When you select any item and you make an entry, in the Google Sheet, it's going to record the key of that table, which is the customer ID in itself. So we're going to do the same thing for city. So ref to the city table or location table, done. Product, ref to the product table, done. Okay, so we have this as a product, and we have this as a city. Fantastic. Okay, the rest we have unit cost as price. Okay, so just to be sure, I want to check what the currency for the price data type is. So by default, it's normally the US dollar, but I'm not creating the app for dollar-based transactions, so I'm going to set it to none. So currency is none. Okay, quantity is number, which is fine. Selling price is price. Just want to make sure my currency is not dollar. So if it's a dollar or pound, you have all those options there. Okay, and then discount is percentage. So that is done. So now that my data types are set, I can save this. Okay, I'm going to cancel this. So before I test this and make an entry, I want to set a much more presentable view for all the transactions. So I want to edit this view we have currently. Now to make an edit to any view, there are two ways to do this. You can click on the view's name under your preview app, or you can navigate to UX. Or you can come here and you can navigate to your view. So I'm going to click on transactions. Okay, and it's going to open the view running this particular, the UX running this particular view. So this is the UX, and this is the view. It's currently a doc type view, or view type. I'm going to select table. Yes, so I have something that looks much more like my spreadsheet. I'm also going to sort this order date in descending order. So I have the newest transactions at the top. Is that okay? Great. I think it will be better if I sort it by the row ID. Good. So I have my row ID, the most current row ID is at the top. Okay, with that done, let me save this. Okay. Now I can test this by making a new entry. So 668, order date is today. I'm going to change this to maybe Friday. That's the delivery date. Delivery mode is express 1 day. Customer ID, who am I selling to? So let's say I'm selling to Francis Spencer this time. City is Tamale. Products, let's say office of supplies. The cost is 100 Ghana cedi. How many is he buying? He's buying 1,000 units. And then the selling price is 150. Discount, let's say we are giving him a 2% discount. And you save. Okay, so we save that. We come to transactions and we have our new entry over here. The beautiful thing about this is when you go to your Google Sheet, you scroll down to the very bottom, you have your new entry over here recorded. Okay, so now as entries are being made into your App Sheets app, they're going to feed into your Google Sheets. Is that okay? Now let me show you how you can share this app with someone you just created if you want to use this app with. So when you're done, when you're okay with the name of your app, so if you need to rename the app, you can rename it over here, and then you click on share over here. You indicate the email of the person you want to share with. So let's say I want to share with Owusu at gmail.com. Okay. Once I put the name, it's going to ask me, do you want to notify the user? Yes, I want to notify the user. So the person is going to receive an email, and this is going to be the subject of the email. You can change the message if you want to. I'm okay with this. Click on I'm not a robot for verification. And once that is done, you just hit send. Is that okay? When you hit send, the user or the email you've inputted over here is going to receive this app you've created, a link to install the app you've created, and they can install it on their mobile device and use it as well. Okay, so once that's done, once that's sent, you are done. Is that okay? So what we're going to do now is we're going to move the data we've recorded into our Google Sheet to our Excel documents and add it to the already existing data we have there, right? Okay, let's get that done. Okay, so once we have a new entry coming in over here, what we're going to do is we're going to share this data. So click on share. Okay, so when you click on share, all you need to do is to make sure that this general access is set to anyone with this link. It's very important. So once you are done with setting this to anyone with this link, you just copy the link. Okay, now that we've copied our link, we go to our dashboard. So take note of the figure we have currently, 6,564,570. Okay, we're going to try and query our data and add it to this current figure. So we go to data. Okay, and data, we're going to query the data from web. So we paste our link here, then hit OK. So now Power Query is trying to use this link to query the data from our Google Sheet. Okay, so it's done. But then you realize that the way the data has been provided is not in the format that we can use in our dashboard. Okay, so I'm going to show you a way you can edit your link to make it better to query your data from the Google Sheet. Okay, so I'm going to close this, come back to my Google Sheets, copy the link again, link copied. Now I have a simple list of instructions I follow in modifying my Google Sheet link so that it makes it easier for Excel to be able to load the data from Google Sheets into Excel for my dashboards. Okay, so this is the instructions I follow in modifying my Google Sheet link so that I can use it to query data into Excel. So we've already completed a number of these. So the first one says get the share link of the Google Sheet. And the second one says change the option or the permission option to anyone with the link, or anyone with this link can view. You have to change it to this, which we've done. You have to paste the link in your Excel sheet so you can modify it. So I'm going to paste it right here, so it's easy for you to understand. So I'm going to paste my link I have currently here. So Control V, this is the link. Okay, now it says remove the part of the link that starts with /edit, USP equals to sharing. Okay, so this ending part, we're going to change it. It says replace that part with /export format equal to XLSX &ID equal to. So let me just copy this bit. Okay, and I'll come back to my Google link and I'm going to change this bit. That's the ending bit. So Control V. After that, it says after the equal sign, copy and paste the alphanumeric part of the original code as shown in the example above and paste it after the equal sign. So what they're referring to is this alphanumeric link, which happens to be the ID of your Google Sheet. Okay, the unique ID of your Google Sheet. So you're going to paste it after the equal to here. So I'm going to copy this. Control C, paste it here, Control V. So now this is my link I'm going to use to query the data in Excel. Now this link makes it easy for Excel to access the data. So come here, data. Okay, data, we're going to query the data from web. So we paste our link here, then hit OK. You will notice a change this time, right? So you realize that now Google Sheets, now Excel has been able to identify the various sheets within my Google Sheets. Okay, so I'm going to query all this into my Excel document. So I'll click multiple selection, and then I'll select all these. Okay, so we are now in the Power Query editor. We have our new table, so it's customer, location, product, and transaction. Okay, this is the data coming from our app. Okay, now all we are interested in for this demonstration is the transaction data that's coming in. Okay, what we are seeking to do now is that we want to append the new data coming in to our original transaction table for this dashboard, which is also in the Power Query. Is that okay? So we want to append the new transactions we are recording from the app to our existing transaction table. Is that okay? So what I'm going to do is make sure that the data types of this particular table are right before I append it to the transactions table. So we have row ID, we have order ID, we have order dates, we have delivery date. They are all date formats. We have delivery mode, text, customer text, we have city. These are all fine. We have unit cost number, we have quantities number, selling price number, discount the decimal. I think we can also change it to a percentage. Like this, and we have that. Let's see what we have in the transactions as well. Okay, we have it as percentage sum, right? So now what we're going to do is, once we have them with the same data types and then the same headers, we can just append them together. So we'll come to append under home. So we're going to append query. Okay, so concatenate rows from two tables into a single table. So I'm going to select the table I'm going to concatenate to this one. This is the current table. Concatenating transactions table to that. So I hit OK. So once we have that appended, what we need to do is to now remove duplicates to take out the data we use in creating our app, so that we will only have new entry coming in. Okay, so I'm going to click on transform and load. And this is going to load my new data for my app. So we're refreshing our data. You can see now our new entry has come in. So now the figure has increased to 6,709,570. This is a result of the entry we made before we left the app. Okay, so now we're going to try and record an entry on our mobile device, the app we just created, and see how it's going to reflect in our dashboard. Okay, so now we are back into our mobile view again. We're going to record our new transaction and see if the connection we've done is going to work. So click this, app sheets. Okay, now I'm going to record a new transaction, so I click the plus button. Okay, it gives me the new row number 669, gives me the dates. Select the delivery mode, let's say express 1 day. Customer ID, let's go Islaminta. City, let's say Axim. Products, what should we sell? To Tesla, Samsung 6 Edge. What's the unit cost of that? Let's say 1,000. Okay. Quantity is 100. Selling price is 1,200. 0 discounts. Okay, so we are done. All we need to do is hit save, and this is going to sync into our app. We are back in our dashboard. Let's refresh it. So come to data and refresh all, and let's see if our data will come in. Okay, so our new data has come in. So you see revenue has increased as well as costs. One more thing you can do is you can put your query to auto refresh so that you don't need to come to data and refresh every time. So I'm going to show you how you can do this so your data always refreshes. So once you come to data and click on queries and connection, you have your queries over here. You refresh the queries that are connected directly to your dashboard. So for example, we have transactions. This one is connected directly to your dashboard. Come to properties. Once I'm in properties, I can set that this should refresh so currently 60 minutes. I can choose every 5 minutes. I can also say that I want this data to always refresh every time I open the web. So when I open the web, I have the latest version of this. So with this done, I can hit OK.
What this means that every 5 minutes, my query is going to refresh, and every time I open this webbook, query is also going to refresh. And that is the beauty of connecting an app to your dashboard. You can share this app to several people. New data comes in, and it automatically syncs into your dashboard. So I hope you learn this and you use this to make your dashboard more effective, more powerful. Thank you very much for joining me in this section. See you some other time.